Right, what I have here is a Mitotoyo micrometer, and the issue with this device is that it doesn't repeat. So each time as I close it, the number gradually goes up and up. As you can see. And the other thing is flickering time to time. This is the calibration label and it's valid till 97, so yeah, probably you can tell it belongs to 90s. So let's open the screws and look at the inside. Let's remove the battery. So I can remove this cables, simply just slide off and it comes off, but when you put it back it's quite difficult to put it in place, so keep it as it is. If you look at the inside, you will see that o-ring or that collar with the flat screw. You need to open that one up first, and then when you open it up, there is another one beneath it. I don't know if you can see it, but there is another grabber screw is underneath that. Let's see if I can get into. You don't need to take it all the way off because you're gonna have a difficult time to put it in, so you can keep the second one in there and simply you can twist the spindle, because the other thing I feel like is slightly play is in the spindle, so it moves the spindle. This handle moves it slightly back and forth. It doesn't go much, but I can feel it by hand. On the top of the shaft you have a little V groove, which is, let's see if I can show it to you. So you can see this line is literally a V groove, and the screw inside collar it has a conical shape that sits in the channel, and then simply as you spin it, that collar moves, and that collar is basically connected to the encoder, and that gives you the value. That screw holds the collar in place. The shaft can move, slide in and out, but the collar is still going to be in the place. So here is my quick drawing. Just notice the camera doesn't pick it up nicely while I'm recording. So as you can see, inside this section of the micrometer, where the spindle shaft comes through, you have a tube, which I believe there is a spring inside, and there is a little what do you call it, there is a little collar in front of it with a grabber screw, and as you undo it, you can basically the spring push it out, but you can also push it in and then lock it in place. You have a spacer front of it, and next to it is the ring that does the measurement. So the ring also it's basically a disc, and you have the collar attached to it, and this is the cross section of that collar. So as you can see, you have two grabber screw. One has a V shape that sits in the spindle. As I mentioned, there is a V grooved or a small channel on the spindle, and the first grabber screw sits in there, and with the top of that you have another grabber screw, and with these two literally you can adjust how tight the disc can sits on the spindle basically. So by pushing it back and holding it in place, that spring, you should be able to remove this one. And if this is the encoder, basically there is kind of like a ring that correspond to the numerical values. So also I'm gonna wipe this off as well. And also with the cotton bud, I'm gonna give a gentle wipe on the surface of where that ring is. And simply put it back in place. And as soon as it went to its place, you can undo the small nut, the small screw, so it's gonna bounce back like I did now. So now I can put my screwdriver in there and simply line up the tube. Low loose fit, if I tighten this ring on top of the gauge or top of this tube, this little ring can twist around, and simply you can tighten it up to make it tight or stiffer. So what I'm gonna do, I can use a wire cutter. It's very good tools for doing this. There you go, that's the tool. So you can just drop it on top, twist it a little bit, there you go, and then see if you're feeling that loose play is not loose play anymore. And I'm quite happy with how it is, and I can simply put very small amount of oil in there, just one droplet. So here is the important part. Again, what I need to do, I need to slide back that sleeve and line up. So I push it all the way back and then lock it in place, and I can see the groove on the shaft, and that groove has to be lined up with my grub screw, and that's the point where you're going to tie up. It should be loose to move back and forth, but you don't want it to be too tight to grab onto the shaft. So when it's done, simply open up the spring, and that sleeve or that tube bounce back in place. So all done now, I'm gonna just drop in the battery, drop it in place simply, and close it like this. Close to screw for time being. Right, so I'm gonna close it all the way to the end. Hold the origin. Yeah. And then I click on millimeter. There you go. It works beautifully. So to line up the scale, you need a vise. So I'm gonna lock it in place. So I just Here is a low plastic, and at this end I put some wire tape just to keep it in place, and simply tie it up. There you go. Cap. And also you can remove this one as well. Let's see, I'm gonna put this vernier underneath. It should pull itself out. There you go. First, you clean up the between the jaw or between the shaft. Like this. I usually put a piece of tissue in there, tie it up, and pull it off, and simply close it, and it comes to 0, right? And when it comes to 0, you're gonna put the spindle back and simply tie it down. Right, so after servicing the micrometer, let's see how good it is. And I have some slip gauges. 190. Yeah, almost there. It's amazing how the number matches up with these gauges. This 170. Yeah. $155. Oh wow. There you go. Amazing. Yeah. Yeah. So as you can see, it's very precise device, and the accuracy is within 1-2 microns. And they are so accurate, even with the the heat that coming from your body to the what it calls to the frame. It can kind of affect the reading by 1 micron. So I mean, if I zero it now and I put it in the fridge, within a minute or 2 minutes, you will notice it would read probably a little bit bigger value, so because it shrinks. And if I put it somewhere warmer, again it might goes to negative value, because simply it's expands, and basically, yeah, it reads more. Well, in general, if you find second-hand original Mitotoyo, they can be maintained. They can be, if the electronic is not damaged. I doubt if this type of device broke down. And from point of calibration, as there's not much in there, you just want to make sure there is no slack in the spindle and also the electronic inside. There's a little ring, captive ring, or I don't know, encoder, whatever you call it, that make sure is nice and clean, because that's the one that generate issues. So it should be tight enough on the ring to spin with the spindle, and also at the same time let the spindle slide in and out. And pretty much that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.